Studebaker, Bob and Sherry Weaver. It's been chopped 2 inches on the top, and inside it is a 426 Hemi. And it looks like they barely just got that baby in there.
But yeah, sure.
Nicely done. Oh, there we go. Now you can kind of
That's
see
a
it.
lot of motor in that.
It's a lot of motor. They pretty much had to fit that baby in and just work everything around it, I guess.
92.
And it looks like they've, shaved door handles and a few things like that with it. But
I was going to say, they've done a little bit of custom on
yeah,
that.
yeah. And again, this is in Canyon City, Colorado, south of Colorado Springs. And this is one of the first major shows of the year in Colorado. It's of course in May, and it's still freezing out. So, 1926 Model T, Leroy Norson, and you don't see too many of those, the tall Ts, anymore.
With the wooden wheels on it yet.
Yeah, of
Still
course, so
original.
many of those were chopped. We know somebody that used to have one of those. Bill.
Yeah, sold it up at the Quaker Steak and Lube show. It
Well,
was
we
a
saw
long
it up
walk
there, but-
home, too.
Yeah. 1951.
This
It's
is
a
cool.
Ford Custom. You can see it's green with flames. Eric Noose is his name, I guess.
This is very cool. I love the taillights on this.
Oh, that's cool.
You could build me one of those,
That looks
Casey?
like that probably came off of a Cadillac, would you say?
Yeah, taillights. Yeah.
Taillights off a Cadillac.
Yep.
Don't know if we'll see the front end again. Ooh,
Look at
nice
this.
interior.
Pretty.
So that certainly looks a lot like a kind of a standard dashboard anyhow, and they fit gauges into it. Built the middle up, put bucket seats in it. 1963 and a half Ford Galaxy XL. Terry and Carol Seal. They don't have the towns in this, they didn't put that on there, but most of the people would be Colorado kinds of people, Denver, Colorado Springs, Pueblo, some a little bit to the south.
That's sharp. That's nice.
Nice engine.
What year was this?
This would be a 63.
63.
So that had what? Did that have a, well, that says
427.
427, yeah.
Probably 4-speed too.
Next up is a 1934 Ford Ron Francis. That looks pretty stock. Guess when we get around to the engine, we'll see what that really is.
Looks like an original car.
Rumble seat, of course, it's a Roadster.
That's a nice setting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I was when I was out there in Colorado last May. We went to that place.
Did you?
There was a car show there, but we went.
Yeah.
Got a
That certainly
heavy
wasn't the
inner-
original engine, but
banjo wheel.
yeah, updated wheel a little bit. But on that, the interior kind of looks pretty stock. And then we talked about some Woodies last week, and you'll see, a whole line of them again. And what was interesting, I thought, is the number of unusual cars. I don't know, we just didn't seem to see, standard kind of fare. Like this one's a 1947 Chevy, or excuse me, Ford, Dick Van Wagner, and it looks like it says Lowood on the back.
Yeah,
That's what that looks like.
Mhm.
Very nicely done. Pretty much stock interior, looks like. I thought this was kind of interesting. This is a 1949 Packard Woody. And this is owned by Mrs. Bob Johnson. And I don't know that I've ever seen one like this.
I've never seen anything like that. It's different.
Yeah, look at the tailgate.
Wow.
Fabulous looking
Yeah.
back end on that thing, isn't it?
That's cool.
That's neat.
I mean, that just really is nicely done. Look at what way it dives into the to the tail lights back there.
Whole new meaning of tailgating.
Yeah, it really does.
You
Yeah,
remember Bill Trier did one on the Woodies.
yeah, exactly.
unusual.
1950 Chrysler Royale. I wonder if that's right. Yes, that is the one.
I know, I looked at that too when I was doing the clip. I thought, nah, I got that one in there twice.
Yeah, yeah.
But it is a little different.
Mark Curacao, it looks like is the name. Again, looks like it's pretty much stock on the inside. It's got seat belts when it had seat belts back then. But they haven't really doesn't even look like they've redone gauges necessarily. This was a 1948 Chevy. It was a Woody. It's called a Fleet Master. Gary Tollefson. Next, they got
have got
vinyl
to
roof
be
on it.
A lot of maintenance
Oh yeah.
on that kit, isn't that, Casey?
Yeah, the good thing there is
Out
Colorado.
there,
The
so
the
dry.
weather is dry, so
Yeah.
a lot. So you don't have a lot of wood problems with it. But of course, you better have a good place for it in the wintertime because it'll get ruined. Other than that, so
Only 250 known to exist.
and this is actually everybody's going to look at it and say it's a Studebaker, but it's actually a Packard Hawk.
Wow.
Now this was when
happened in my
Packard was
video?
going out. Studebaker took it over, but it looks very much like a Studebaker. And as we saw there, it's one of 250 that exists, and it's number 42 of 588 that were produced. Carrie and Peg Dietz. Certainly is very reminiscent of a Studebaker.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
But it
Even
has a
look
lot
at
of
the
a
tail.
lot of those Packard kind of things in it
Yeah,
too. So
even at the tail end of that looks a lot like a Studebaker. That's a cool car.
that is a very cool car. Nice interior. A little bit more upscale than the Packard would have been at that point. Then we got a 1998 Corvette pace car owned by R. Campbell. And I think, primarily, Terry took this shot. It's a pretty colorful car. I have seen a few of those. There's one down in Venice that comes down to the Corvette show down there. But that's certainly...
Nice graphics.
Yeah, very good graphics. Nice car. When you consider that it's already, 11 years old now?
Right.
There was one for sale in the area here not too long ago.
Really? Kind of definitely a Chevy interior. You can tell some of the gauges and so on. Now here's something that a lot of people aren't even going to know what it is. But this is a...
I know.
You do? Okay, all right. All right, Lance, jump on it. 1965
International.
International Scout.
Yeah.
This was so prevalent in Colorado in the 70s. I mean, everybody and their brother had these things. Very short wheelbase. It was something that really you could get around in. Most of them were four-wheel drive. And
Most of them have plows hung on them too.
most of them had plows. You're absolutely right. A lot of them were used. You can see this was like a service station kind of direction. A lot of them were used at the service stations, and they were well used. That's for sure.
All brought to you in part by Keels and Wheels.
That guy?
That guy.
So you guys even laugh because you're. Oh, never mind.
Yes.
Laugh about what?
Well, the humor of that guy.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
When you're done, I'll get back to the
Okay.
show.
Well, you think we should let him go to commercials?
Is this,
Yeah.
is this his show?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what happens, Chris. This is what happens. When the ladies were on, I just gave up. Just threw everything
sure.
over my shoulder and said,
No need for you then.
Ladies?
all right. It's okay to go to commercial?
Sure, be my
All
guest.
right. We're going to hear a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back. Junior's Trim Shop in Venice. Our award-winning interiors have been applauded locally and nationally. Junior's will repair or replace seat covers, carpet, door panels, and both vinyl and convertible tops. Our experts have more than 40 years of experience and specialize in original, antique, and custom automobiles, boats, and aircraft. For quality craftsmanship at a reasonable price, call Junior's today. 493-1840. That's 493-1840.